Welcome to HBANZ Magnified. I'm Dope Sayer and I'm joined by Maxi. Evening, Maxi.
Hey,
And we're here to preview the upcoming semi-final series that are being played this weekend. So, firstly, let's take a look at the standings. All right, we can see Infamous, they clear out on top with 21 points. They finish first. Murray Bros finishing second on 15. Lions and Bullworms with both on 12 points and finishing third and fourth. And then we got Bait and Barca's team, IHFC, unfortunately missing the playoffs. What do you think about the standings, Maxi? Do they look? Are you surprised about any of the teams there? Do they look all
um,
good?
yeah, I'm not really surprised. I think Bait were a bit unlucky where they got scummed
Yeah,
two
well,
games,
I was gonna
arguably.
ask about that. What do you, the whole pause scenario in that
Um,
game? Like, what happened? Like, what was your thought process during that when that happened?
um, I was honestly expecting them to call for a pause.
Okay.
I did it. I paused last time when in the first half when LCD was when we're in an attacking situation and LCD purged out of the room. So I would have been happy to do it if someone had called for a pause and I was just following the rules.
Yeah.
So
So you were convinced that the rules, like you couldn't pause because nobody asked?
yeah, I wasn't sure.
You weren't sure. Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, unfortunately, Bait did get screwed out of finals. I think they
And
would have made it.
I wasn't sure if they'd scum it or not. I thought
Yeah.
there was a chance they would, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, I think Dilza pretty much took it upon himself to score that goal, while Akume even stopped mid-game, I remember. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
because
much,
like the loving even like turned like away from the for the first half, and he like made sure he didn't score, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen for sure.
yeah. Well, that ended up being a crucial point because that put the Lions into third spot. They would have finished fifth without that point. So you guys did make the playoffs off of that. Um, Pretty controversial. Do you think you deserve to be there?
Yeah, um, it was a bit lucky. I'm not gonna lie. We did get a bit unlucky in other situations. Sweezy said he lagged in the game, initial game against Bait, but that probably wasn't as bad. I'd have to watch it again. Um, Roman missed an open goal in one of our draws, so we
Mm.
could have won one of those. But that's Hacksport. Sometimes it's luck, and sometimes it's
S-
other stuff.
Sometimes
And
it's lag and
unfortunately,
scum. Oh well.
unfortunately, sometimes people are going to scum. Uh,
Well, yeah.
I talked to Swoozy actually, and uh, he said you might have done that against Hackspraw's team.
Yeah,
That cost them finals as well.
I,
I wasn't gonna bring that. I wasn't gonna bring that up, but
I honestly don't. I can't remember
uh,
anything from previous
yeah.
seasons. To be honest, I can't
And
remember.
I remember, this is a bit more understandable, but like I remember you scoring against us 2v3 because
Well,
Lukic was and Joe were like being really annoying.
yeah. Well,
They were
I
talking shit about
oh,
you.
I remember that actually. I sort of half remember that, but I've evolved into a better man since then. Anyway, let's move on to the D2 standings.
uh,
So I'll bring them up big on the big screen. So finishing first, we got the Piglets on 22 points. Second place, we got the Cubs on 21 points, just a point behind them. They're the clear top two there. The next best is Fisherman with 13. That's more than 2 games out. And then Warrior Bros finished fourth with 11 points. Famous almost snuck in there in that last game against the Cubs, but unfortunately they weren't able to for Famous. And then Gummy Worms, pretty much a shocking season from them, only managed
mm,
one win, and they finished on 5 points at the end. So what about these standings, Maxi? Anything? Are they in the right order? Do you reckon the Cubs should be first?
um, look, I think it was pretty even. Um, we started really well, but there was a bit of an inconsistent patch in the middle. So I think that it's about right.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair enough. So you agree the Piglets have been the better team this season?
Yeah, just slightly.
Just slightly? Well, just having a look at the fixture now. From what 13 tells me, the Piglets did start off 0-2, and that is in fact true. And then 13 came in round 3, and from that they would have gone 7 wins and 1 draw. So since 13 has come along, they haven't lost. So that's a pretty big stat right there. Maybe
Mm.
13 is the MVP of the season. We're not sure, but those, yeah, that looks pretty much right to me. I think Famous and Gummy Bears probably been the most disappointing teams out of the 6. The other 4 definitely deserve to be there, I'd say.
Mm.
All right, joining us today, we've got Fank here. Fank, are you with us?
Hello.
Hey, Fank, we got him live. Welcome to the panel. Thanks for
Oh,
joining
hey.
us.
So
Um,
lovely to see you.
so we've got a few questions for you, Fank.
Fire away.
So I just wanted to ask you, what did you think? Do you think Bait HC should be playing finals right now?
Um.
No comment?
I'm gonna say this. The 3-point swing that we've had from various scums throughout um throughout the past games would actually put us in second.
Hmm.
That's a huge swing,
Yeah, that is a
especially
big
in a
difference.
close competition.
You would be facing
So
Infamous in a double chance series.
Mm.
so that we could lose 3-1, 4-1, 5 times. No, actually,
It's three
yeah,
game series for
Yeah,
yeah,
score
yeah
wise.
first series. Yeah.
and then when we win again against the poor South, we'll face them again. But that's all.
Hmm. Well, all right. So
That's all in history.
how about the pause rule?
Gone.
Do you reckon that should be changed?
Um, I reckon that it should not have been changed for week 5.
Okay, so you preferred the original rule?
But uh, at least consistency.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bad things. There's good and bad things for it. In the end, we are going to get the most out of a pause rule. It requires policing, but that's not going to happen.
Hmm.
And in the end, we are probably going to end up in situations like aesthetics versus imploders in season 11,
Hmm.
where we're stuck with
So do you think we should
3v2
should
till
we
sub.
should we keep the current rule for finals, or should we revert back to the older rule?
I'm not the admin, and to be honest, I don't care.
Okay. All right. So Fank, how do you think your D2 team will go? The Fishermen.
Well, we've got a good we've got a good squad.
Will
I
RVP
mean,
play? Because he did say he was done with
uh,
Axel after last round, didn't he?
um, hopefully he plays, but I mean, yeah.
Or what if he
And
doesn't?
if not, are you going to unleash Super Sub Jambi?
Or Chile? Will you bring in Chile?
Um, I will not pry too much into the bait bait locker room, but in terms of our chances, I mean, I reckon we've got an outside chance. I mean, even RVP and Pingu and like insert jabbing in there at times. Like the two don't really mid, but like they're able to play together.
Hmm. It's team chemistry
But,
then. Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
but I mean, there's still a mountain to climb and drag, but I still think that we've got the tools available.
Yep. Definitely. And just lastly, who are your tips to win D1 and D2 this season?
Um, Div 1, I'd put my favorites as Infamous, and Div 2, I'd put Piglets as favorites, but gotta cheer, gotta cheer for the
The
for the
Fishermen.
fishermen
Yep.
to pull through.
It went for the two top teams on the table. That's pretty wise. They've proved that they can do it. So yeah, no, not bad tips there, Fank, at all. Yeah, well, thanks for answering these questions for us. It's good to get some insight on what you thought about the pause rule and all of that. So yeah,
Mm.
no, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna go type that book now.
No worries.
Thanks, Frank.
Enjoy. All right. So we'll actually get into the games now. We'll move into Infamous versus Mario Bros. So during the season, the regular season, it's been one win to Infamous, and they've had a draw. I think that was in the last match of the round, maybe round 10 match. Um, who do you like here, Maxi? Infamous or Mario Bros?
Infamous.
Okay.
um, I don't know. I think that Mario Bros, if they're on form, they can might be able to take a game and keep it close. But Infamous are like a proven team, and especially if they've got their full lineup, Deco, Red Devil, and you, I think it's going to be hard for anyone to beat them, even us. Or
Yeah.
if bait was a good chance if they made it, but unfortunately they didn't. So
Yeah. No, that's a fair call. Infamous have finished top. They were well ahead for quite a big part of the season. They did drop off a little bit near the end, a couple draws and a loss, I think, in the last one. So maybe they're a bit out of form. Maybe Mario Bros can take advantage of that. Um, I can't comment too much on because my team is involved. I think that it's going to be a tough matchup. I think Mario's a great goalkeeper. After playing with Viper last season, I know he's definitely capable up front, and Davo, I think he's a big key to that Mario Bros lineup if he plays strong. The player to watch for me, I would say, in this series is Red Devil. I think he's the key to Infamous' offense.
for
And I
sure.
I think the player that needs a big game this series is Mario. If Mario Bros are going to win them, I think
Yeah.
it relies on him to really make those saves because Infamous is going to be applying a lot of pressure. Maybe Viper and Davo will turn over a few times. Murray is going to need to be ready
Yeah.
for that. Um, what do you think? Do you reckon
One
those
of the
good
things I
calls?
remember is that Mario was complaining on chat about the number of 2v1s he had to deal with. So that might be, he might have to be pretty strong or get them to defend a bit more because they are a pretty attacking team.
Yeah,
And you can't give Infamous too many chances.
they definitely need a midfielder. I'd say probably Davo. I think Vipers played forward pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop up a replay here on the screen behind us. Um, So what I think Infamous's strengths are this season is I think they're really good at making space and passing to one another. In the past seasons, they've been more of a defensive team, but this season it's really changed, and they're back passing like Infamous haven't really done before. So I'll play this replay here. We can see Viper, he's going to get the clearance, but Red Devil is going to collect the ball and he's ready for that back pass. So I'll get my pen out here. Red Devil will probably bounce off this wall and take it to Deco here. But I'll just play this replay. So when I press play here, watch Red Devil. After he back passes, he actually runs behind Viper here. He actually gets behind him, and that's crucial because you need at least one player staying behind their forward. Because now if I get rid of this and I press play again, Deco's going to receive the ball and he's going to look for Dope. Dope is going to collect, well, I'm going to collect it. And since Red Devil is actually in front of Viper here, all he needs to do is just block him out, and Dope has all this space to run into, go for goal, go for the pass, or whatever he wants to do. He can just take it in, play it a little bit more. He's taking it in. Mario, he doesn't know what to do. He can't cover all these angles. He has to focus on covering the bottom post and the pass. So he's just going to stay in the middle. Hopefully he picks the right one. But because Dope has all that space from what Red Devil had done, he's able to just come in, pass it to Red Devil, and that's an easy goal for Infamous. So this is the sort of stuff that teams need to worry about with Infamous and why Red Devil was drafted in the first round. And Maxi, I hear that you're interested in Red Devil as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If Swoozy didn't sign up at the last minute, I was pretty strong on picking Red Devil.
yeah,
I was very surprised that Dope got him, and that Mario and Barca in particular passed on him, because Frenchie is a good player, but he's been suffering a lot from leg issues, and you can see that this season and last season.
yeah, definitely. He's late. That's actually I was hesitant on drafting Frenchie if he fell to me because of that lag. Not sure how much that impacted him this season. I haven't been paying too much attention to that, but yeah, yeah. So that's our preview for Infamous and Mario Bros. You pretty much set on Infamous, Maxi.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's a fair call there. Fair call. So yeah, that good luck to those teams. They'll be played on Sunday night. Let's move on to the Lions versus the Bullworms. Big game coming up here. This is an elimination series. Whoever loses this game is out. During the regular season, these two teams have actually had two draws, which isn't surprising since the Lions have had many draws this season, probably a record amount of draws. Um,
Uh,
who are you liking, Maxi? Do you think your team can take this Bullworms team?
um, I think it's going to be a pretty even series, to be honest.
Yep.
Um, Chicken's a very good player. He showed it last season against Lions as well,
Mm.
where he played for the Cox.
Mm.
In that semi-final, I reckon he carried his team pretty strongly,
Yeah. Yeah, no, Chicken is a great
and he
player.
came up big in some clutch situations, and didn't quite get over the line.
Yeah.
He played really well.
Well, I got my player to watch here is Ramin. He's coming against his old
Yeah.
side. He traded for him because of his lack of scoring at the Lions. Will he do well? That's the question here. And my who needs a big game player is actually Chicken, as you were just saying. He's the first round
Yeah.
draft pick. I don't know actually
Yeah.
if he'll play goalkeeper or forward. I'm not sure who's going to sub out. I mean they have Juicy, Ramin, Chicken, and Ebis to pick three out
Yeah.
of. So I'm not sure on the lineup right now, but I think he needs to play well if they have any hope. But I wanted to ask you, the player to watch is Ramin here because you guys did trade him. What it was for his lack of scoring, I assume.
Yeah, and I feel like we're in a really precarious situation. We had all of those draws, and I felt like taking a risk because I'd rather try something different than just keep drawing potentially and miss out because of that.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. Do you think the trade worked? You happy with the trade, or do you
Yeah,
regret
I
it?
think it's a win-win.
Win-win. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, no, DeLoving has seemed to have shined since he has come to the Lions. He's scoring a lot of goals for you guys, which was really your biggest trouble. Your
yeah,
defense was always pretty solid, but you just couldn't score.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna swap over to this replay I got up here again. Um, on the back screen here, I'll just chuck it up. I'll put it big for you guys, so I'll press play. So the main stat here that I noticed in your last game against the Bullworms is that in the first half you guys had it 65% of the time on offense as opposed to their 20%, and in the second half it was 66% to 22. So that's a massive stat. You guys trap the ball so well in your offensive half. You do it really well. You're able to work together as a team. Uh, and Sweezy's able to play that mid role really well. And DeLoving's playing that pure forward role, applying the pressure and really allowing Sweezy to force the turnover. And then Dills is at the back, providing a great back passing option. He has very good vision and he makes great passes to lock it inside your half. And that's been shown in that last game. And just going to this replay here, I think what you've added this season is X Factor. So as you just saw there, Sweezy did manage to style room in there, and DeLoving and Sweezy's trying to rocket it into the goal right now. But the ball's going to bounce off that wall, and it's coming back up to DeLoving at a pretty fast pace. Now the difference here with DeLoving and Ramin is I think DeLoving has that X Factor about him where he has such good skills on the wall and with jukes. So what the top players do here, what they're able to notice is that the ball is coming up really fast here. So you want to turn around a little bit and make the ball face the goals and then have a spam battle with whoever is coming at you because they're going to be spamming as well. So what the Loving does here is he does exactly that. He turns around a little bit. Chicken tries to spam it past him, but the Loving jukes really well this ball and just spams it and it goes to the top post as we see here. It's just a really nice play to get that goal from DeLoving, and that's what the big players do. They score goals. So yeah, I agree. I think the Lions is going to take this series. I think it was a pretty bad trade for the Bullworms to get rid of DeLoving. I think they miss him quite a lot. Um, and yeah, I'll be tipping the Lions. And I assume, will you be tipping the Lions, Maxi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it'll be a close series. So
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, it will be a close series, but I still have the Lions to take it. Um, all right, let's move over to D2 now. We've got the Piglets and the Cubs here. During the season, they've had one win each. Um, who do you think's going to win this? It's almost too hard to pick.
I reckon it's a toss up. I'm going Cubs because of bias, but I could see either team winning. I would be surprised if it didn't go to 3 games. I think they're pretty even teams
Yeah,
across
no,
the board.
I do agree. I think I can't pick between them. The Piglets. I mean, since they brought 13 over, they haven't lost a game, as we said before.
Yeah,
But then you look at the Cubs, they've got pretty much the best player in D2. I'd say Dilza. I mean, he's arguably top, a top D1 player as well. Yeah, I don't know really. Yeah, I want to ask you though. That is your D2 team. Who's going to start? Are you going to go with Modric or are you going to go with the Baited?
um, it's tough because they've both been playing really well recently, and I think Debated offers more in defense, but Modric offers more in attack. So it's going to be tough to decide which of them to go with.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. It's hard to split them, to be honest. I've seen a lot of people say debated lately, but I don't know. So I assume you'll be starting Angst then?
Yeah, Angst will start. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, my player to watch in this match is actually 13. I mean, he's the self-declared MVP of D2. He's pretty much scoring almost at will, and can he score on Dilzer? That's the main thing. I mean, the Cubs are the best defensive team statistically of the season as well. That's something to note. They've conceded the least amount of goals. Um, and then for who needs a big game player for me is Crow, because 13 actually can't carry on his own. 250 ping. Crow's going to need to step
Mm,
up and have a good outing on both defense and offense if Piglets are going to win this. We know what we're going to get from NZ kills every time. Um, so it really is up to the I don't know what you call it, the lesser, I wouldn't say lesser player, but the non-star here. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
What about you? Who's your player to watch, Max?
I reckon NZ kills recently. Like I know you know what you're gonna get. Like, but recently he's been playing keeper and his passing has been really on point. I've been really impressed with him recently at goalkeeper. He's
Mm,
like adapted pretty quickly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm going to bring up a replay here actually of a Piglets game versus the Lions during the regular season. So I bring that up on the big screen. So now the point of this replay. I'm wondering if 13 is in Dills' head a little bit. I mean, because we know 13 really likes to lower his opponent's confidence with a little bit of trash talk, and Dills has made a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers with 13 pressuring him. So this is the most recent game between the Piglets and the Cubs. The score's 1-1 with about 50 or so seconds to go. And I'll press play now. Dills, he kicks it up to Modric, but nothing really much comes of it. Rockets back to Dills. Now, he doesn't really have much of an option to pass it anywhere besides underneath 13 here because he doesn't have enough time to gather this ball and then turn upward because Modric's right there. And Ruben is closing in from the top. So all he can do is go underneath 13 here, but I don't know if it's the pressure from 13 or what it is, but if we press play, Dilzer pretty much just kicks it straight into 13 and he just rebounds it into the goal. So, I mean, that was a big win for the Cubs that secured them top spot. So I don't know, yeah, if Dilzer is under a bit of pressure from 13 here, but 13 he really diminishes the opposition's confidence with his bit of a trash talk. I think a cheeky comment at the end of the game. He said, "Thanks for the hat trick" or something like that. So
Mm.
yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting series. And actually to talk about it, we have NZ Kills here. Hey Kills, welcome to the panel. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, dope, Maxi. Thanks for having me.
So
Of
yeah, we
course.
got a few questions here. So we wanted to ask you. I mean, you've had a great season so far. How have you found swapping from midfield to goalkeeper? Like
Yeah,
what
none of
position?
the trades I'd say have been in my hands, with Barca handling most of them,
Hmm.
including Drag and RLC being traded into the team.
Yeah.
So, with RLC having lag issues, I just had to adapt and become a goalkeeper ahead of Drag.
So do you prefer goalkeeper or you want to go back to mid if you could?
I would preferably go back to mid, but
Hmm.
at the moment, I think I'll be sticking in goal for the finals.
Yeah. And are you comfortable with that? Do you think you'll go all right in the finals?
Yeah, I've been practicing lately, and I think we'll be able to keep it up as we have.
Hmm. Okay. And how do you find working with 13 as not just as a player but as a person, or can you touch on both?
Yeah, obviously it's an interesting dynamic with Drag. He tries to influence the team a lot on and off the field in
Hmm.
terms of decision making and so on, but I've tried to take charge
Hmm.
the subs I could. Granted, there's really no one else besides RLC, but Drag, otherwise, he's been good. He's listened to me when I have wanted him to. No complaints really.
Hmm.
Whatever he does with the opponents is none of my issues. Sometimes he gets to them, which works in our favor. So
Yeah. And what about as a player? Is he the best player you've played with in the in league so far?
I can't say he's not. He's been on point, and as everyone says, he has basically carried the team. And wherever he's failed to, Crow has stepped in and scored the goals when we've needed them.
Yeah, no,
It's hard.
Crow.
It's hard not to say.
Yeah, that's a fair call. Crow's actually lifted his game a lot as well. I think I was actually interested in drafting him, and after the first week, I don't think he had a good couple of games in that first week, and people were calling him out a little bit. But since then, he's stepped up just like the rest of the team has. I mean, you've gone 7-1, and that one being a draw, not a loss, in your past 8 games. So you guys are in crazy form at the moment, and you finished top. Um, just wanted to ask you though, are you enjoying this season or last season with Famous more?
Um, that's quite a tough one. It was, I'd say, more enjoyable last season having to play mid as
Yeah.
my preferred position, but taking up the challenge this season, and
Mm.
especially having the rivalry against the Cubs have been really challenging and made league much more competitive this season.
Yeah. No, that's a good call. Um, so I wanted to ask you about the upcoming match. Who are you most worried about from the Cubs lineup?
From the Cubs lineup up, to be honest, I'd say Angst.
Yeah.
He's been the key for that team in the middle of the park. With his chemistry with Dilza on one side and Modric on the other, those guys have been pubs together, and I'd say our team is more 3 good guys in our positions, but those guys have chemistry on their side.
Yeah, I think Anks is really the biggest threat on that team. He's probably one of the best players in D2. I think Dills is actually the best player, and then Anks is the second. So it's they got a really strong lineup, and Anks is really good. So yeah, definitely would worry about him. Do you think Modric or Debated should start for the Cubs? What's your opinion on that, and why?
I completely agree with Maxi on the sentiments that Modric is the more attacking player. And to be honest, I'd say Debated is right up there with the best mids in D2. So I was surprised not to see him given a go in a lot of matches, but I understand that possibly Dilso is going for his clean sheet
Hmm.
in some games. I'd prefer Debated
Yeah.
in a tough situation over Modric.
Also, wait, you'd prefer to play Debated because he's a bit easier?
No. I'd prefer to have him starting because he's a better player
Okay.
overall.
Okay, so you're interested in the challenge then?
Yep, definitely. Looking forward
Nice.
to it.
And I wanted to ask you just a couple cheeky questions. Do you think you'll beat the Cubs?
And in the question you just made, the survey, I answered 2-1 to Cubs in Cubs'
Okay.
favor.
Okay. Wow. So
But
you think you'll
personally,
lose?
obviously, we're going to go all out.
There we go, Drake. Not even your captain believes in you.
And just the last cheeky question I got here. Who's a better captain, Barca or Dope?
Oh, dope by far.
Thanks, mate. All right. Thanks, Kills, for joining us. Great interview. Thanks, Kills.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. All right, that's NZ Kills there. He's going for the Cubs. He reckons he doesn't think he's going to get the win, but who knows? I'm actually tipping the Piglets in this one. I've gone for them 2-1. I think it's going to be a great game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cubs win it. But just based on form, the last 8 games, that's a big stat. 7 wins
Yeah,
and a
it's gonna be
draw.
tough to deal with them.
Yeah, I think 13's the key to that game. All right, so let's move on. We got our last match to go over. It's between the Fishermen and the Warrior Bros. So during the regular season, it's been 1 win to the Fishermen and a draw. Who you liking in this one, Maxi?
I reckon it depends whether RVP plays or not, because if he doesn't, I'm not sure if Jambi will show up. I think they'd have to play like Chile or someone.
Okay.
So that advantages Wario Bros.
Yeah.
I think if they have LCD, Pingu, and RVP, that's their best line.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think RVP needs to play in this series. The Fishermen are gonna win this. Without him, yeah, all they can do is call on Jambi or Chile. I think Jambi is solid enough to fill the role. Chile, I think he's got a lot of improving to do. He's done some good things. And don't get me wrong, he's done a few good things, but on defense, I do notice sometimes in games he's a bit over the place. So I think Chad and Richie would take advantage of Chile if he's in the lineup. But the thing with RVP is at the end of last round, he actually said he was done with Hacksball because he was lagging so much. He was pretty much running around like a headless chook. Yeah, he got subbed out and then he said he was done. So I don't know if he's going to play. Hopefully he does because if he doesn't, the Fishermen are in pretty big trouble. I got my player to watch in this match as Pingu. I think he's probably the best player on the Fishermen. He's got grand final experience and I think he should have a ripping game. And my player that needs to have a big game is Chad. If Warrior Bros are going to win this match, I think Chad needs to have a big one. He's their leader. He plays that mid role. He controls the field, and he really needs to provide both on offense and defense if they're going to win this game. What about you? Do you have a player to watch?
Yeah, I think LCD actually, because they've got a really good team in general. I haven't watched all of their games, but their LCD from what I've seen is really really solid. sometimes is a bit prone to like conceding pretty random goals. But if he stays strong, like he's going to be tough to break down.
Hmm.
Then Chad would need to play really well because he's like their main weapon.
Yeah, LCD has had a really good season after coming back after so many seasons off. He's one from the early days, LCD, and he's made a few appearances in D1 as well, and he's played his role quite well. He even scored that winning goal with, what, 10 seconds ago? I don't remember the time, but
Yeah.
pushed out from goalkeeper and scored it, and chat went nuts, forum went nuts, and it was a thread for him. So, no, he definitely needs to have a good game. The Fishermen are going to win as well. I'm going to bring up this replay here of the Fishermen, actually, in their game against Famous. So I'll bring it up on the screen now. So if I press play here, just before that, Warrior Bros, I think, really need to be careful of Pingu on defense and make sure their guy covering the net is paying attention and always in the right position. In this replay, we see the standard bus that Mario would have taught Warrior Bros with. If I press play and get it to position here, we can see here now Pat's on the post there. You've got 7-11 defending the corner, and then you've got Jason positioning quite nicely as a cross guard. But now we're going to see the ball is actually going to be crossed in a second, RVP to Pingu. It's going to come out to here a little bit, and then it's going to be crossed into Pingu here. Now, really, instead of just covering Pingu's angle at goal, so if that ball was to come here, instead of Jason just coming diagonally downward, just staying here and blocking off his chances at the goals, instead of doing that, what he actually tries to do is he actually tries to go for the intercept. And that wasn't the greatest call there by Jason. So what ends up happening is he goes to the intercept right there. The ball goes to Pingu, and then now look at all this space at the bottom of the net here. This should be where Jason should be covering. He should be here right now. But since he's not, all that space is there. Pat can't do much because he was on the post. It's really difficult for a goalkeeper to get all the way down there in time. So I get rid of that. Press play. Pingu's going to receive, and he's going to thread it just underneath Pat because no one is there to cover the goal. So Richie's going to find himself in this cross-guard position quite a lot, and he's a rookie, so there is going to be a bit of pressure on him to perform defensively this series, and we're going to see how good Richie is in his first season. So, I mean, I personally think that the Fisherman will take it, providing RVP plays. If he doesn't, I expect the Warrior Bros will win, but I am tipping the Fisherman because I'm hoping that RVP will play. Who's your tip, Maxi?
Yeah, I'll say Fisherman as well.
Fisherman as well. Yeah, no, that's a fair call. Fair call. All right, well that wraps up the games for this weekend. The D1 semi-finals are going to be this Sunday night. On maybe 7:30, something like that. We'll figure out the time soon. And the D2 semi-finals will be on the Monday. Quickly, let's just recap our tips. I've got the tips up on the screen here. Me and Maxi were both going Infamous to win. I've got them winning 2-1. Maxi's got them 2-0. We're both going the Lions. I've got them 2-0. Maxi's got them 2-1. We've got a difference of opinion in the third game in the D2 game with the Piglets and the Cubs. I've actually gone the Piglets 2-1 with Maxi going the Cubs 2-1. And in the last game, we've both gone the Fishermen. I've got them winning 2-0 and Maxi going 2-1. So those are our tips for the weekend. Feel free to copy them if you like because we are master tippers, aren't we, Max?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's it for HBANZ Magnified for this week. Maybe next week we'll throw up another episode if we can. But yeah, no, thanks for joining me, Maxi. It was really good.
No worries. Thanks for doing this.
Beautiful.
It's
All right.
fun.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you for the finals. Cheers. So, firstly, let's take a look at the standings. I'm just getting the standings up. I'll edit this out.
All right.
That's a great start. It's already not showing up on the fucking thing. Wow. There we go. Okay. All right. I'll redo that. First, let's take a look at the final standings for the regular season. So we can see that that's the D2 standings. Fucking retard, though. All right. Let's try this one more time. We got this. All right. Here we go.